Hi, it is duct tape of the safety scissors and duct tape duo. Today's vlog is going to be just me, and it's going to be very honest. And yeah, so Sean and I have been talking about all kinds of stuff having to do with the wedding, from wedding party to how are we gonna have food if we're vegan and other people aren't, to what is this gonna cost, to did I really find my dress, could I really have found my dress, and we really need to just touch on the elephant in the room. And I decided that I was going to touch on that myself. Sean's at work today and just not in the mood to discuss this. So I will do it. COVID. We got engaged in 2020, which means we got engaged in the year of COVID-19. And I know a lot of people have been trying to live their lives as normally as possible. We have not. We've changed a lot of the things that we've done. We don't really go anywhere. I mean, Noise Complaint used to go on the road every weekend. We were in a different city every weekend. I've never not traveled this much. It's so weird. But in thinking about the wedding, that brings up a lot of questions, because first of all, we are kind of having a destination wedding. It's in Ohio. So what are we gonna do as far as like making sure people can travel there? How do we know that they can travel there? How do we know that we can travel there? Is it safe to travel? There's just a lot of questions. And so I was coming on here to kind of work these out with myself, but like with you. So comments are incredibly appreciated, especially since this is one of those subjects that's just, there's no way to feel good about it. So any positive comments would be nice. Today, Noise Complaint was supposed to have a show, and for several reasons, we actually had to cancel at the last minute. We don't do that, okay? Noise Complaint does not cancel a show for any reason. Except that one time we had a squishy stage. But today we had to cancel because a few people in the company have injuries and they were really not able to dance today. I think we've canceled a show twice before. One other time it was because we had a couple people with injuries and they couldn't dance. Today was no exception. But if I'm going to be completely honest, I am extremely relieved. This event that was happening today is supposed to have had great CDC compliance. Masks were required. Social distancing was encouraged. And yet I still felt really anxious about being around people. I've developed kind of a little anxiety about being around people. And I think that if I'm being honest on this vlog, I think that it comes from being around people that don't follow the rules. And so it makes me unable to trust people around me. Even if they're saying, oh, well, the rules are going to be in place, everyone's going to do it. I'm around too many people that don't follow the rules on a regular basis for me to have trust in people around me, especially at a big event where I won't know anybody. So it's like I had a lot of anxiety about going today. That's not why we canceled. I promised myself that I would never let my anxiety get in the way of the company. But I'm not going to lie and say I'm not relieved. Like, I'm not going to lie and say I didn't cry out of relief when I realized that we wouldn't have to do it. And it sucks because a show shouldn't feel like that. A show should be exciting. We should be ready to go and perform for the people. I shouldn't be relieved that we don't have a show. And I think that that's something I personally need to get over, but I think it's something that will subside as we get this whole thing under control. Right now, as I record this, the nation is seeing the highest numbers we've seen record every day. And so it's surging, and my biggest concern is the protection of my dancers. And I know this is supposed to be about the wedding. Trust me, I'm getting there. It's the protection of my dancers and my family and the people around me. And my relief at not having to bring all of my dancers to some place that I can't guarantee is safe, it's immense. But I'm sad that we're not performing today. because I want to perform. I want to perform all the time. Otherwise, what would I be doing this for? But that made me think. That made me think about this wedding and how our timeline is that we're going to get married next year. And I just don't know. I don't know how we can do that. And I'm struggling with that idea because part of me wants to say, we are going to get married in a year for sure. But we also have the backup plan of like, well, maybe 2 years or maybe somewhere in between. But when am I going to be okay being around people? If I'm not excited for a show, this thing that I want to do with my life, if I'm not excited to get on stage and perform, if I'm relieved that I don't have to go get on stage and perform, how am I going to feel about my wedding day? How am I going to feel about 150 people in an indoor enclosed space? What if I'm relieved that I wouldn't be able to get married that day? And that's not a reflection on Sean. It's not a reflection on Sean and I. If anything, the past few days have really solidified our relationship and our need to be together and how well we work together. So, this has nothing to do with the relationship itself. It has to do with like the event. Today was an outdoor CDC mandated event, like everything was in place to be safe and wonderful. And I still have relief that we're not doing it. How am I going to feel about my wedding? So this vlog is me being very honest and trying to work out these thoughts of, well, maybe we should switch it to an outdoor wedding. Maybe would I feel better? But what about the weather? Well, maybe we should not do it outside, but maybe we should wait until I will be okay. Anxiety is not one of those things that you can put a time limit on as far as like when you're going to be okay. I've never had anxiety before. I probably have had some functioning level of anxiety and just called it stress, but I've never had this feeling of fear being in a room full of people as I do now. And it's regardless of what anybody... Look, this isn't a political issue. I'm just going to say that. This is not a political issue. This is world health issue. And it is, I have very, very high risk people in my life, and it is my job and my desire to protect them. So that being said, I forgot where I was going with that. So I just don't know how I can do that. How I can like be excited for my wedding day if I'm scared of my wedding day. I should have been excited for today's show, but I woke up petrified. And then I got a couple calls saying, hey, I can't dance. Hey, I can't dance. And my relief was so shocking. So how am I going to feel on my wedding day? Am I going to wake up with that level of fear and say, I can't do this. I can't do this. Should we elope? We all know at this point, if you've been watching this long, I want to elope. But, I can't deny him the wedding. I can't deny his family that experience. But when am I going to be okay with it? When is it going to be okay? When is COVID-19 2020, this world that is a complete dumpster fire, when is that going to be okay for me to get married? It's such a struggle for me today, right now, to just think about it, because I don't want to wish that my wedding day would get canceled. I don't want to say, oh, good, these many people can't come and now I feel better because there's going to be less people. I want everyone to be there. I want people to celebrate this day with us. I think it's just really important to him and to his family. And my family thinks it's important too, but it's not at the level that they do, But how? One of the things that Sean and I were gonna make a vlog for this week about was how to have a honeymoon. How to have a honeymoon during COVID. But now I'm freaking out about even just having a wedding during COVID. I know people that got married last weekend. I don't know how they did it. I saw pictures. There were a bunch of people without masks at their wedding. And I'm sitting here in my head, that is just so... I would be so terrified that people would walk away from my wedding sick, and then it would be my fault. I can't live with that kind of guilt. So what do I do? Make everyone wear masks at the wedding? Do we want pictures like that? I mean, I don't know. How do we get married anytime soon in this climate? If any of you guys have gotten married in the last year and you have, advice for how you did it or what was negotiable, what was not, let me know, please, because this is really a struggle for me. On some level, I don't feel like we want to wait because life is short and I've lost people that I care about and I don't know that they're going to be here long enough to see the wedding if we wait too long. Just literally anything could happen kind of thing. But at the same time, do we want to do it when it's not safe? When I'm going to be scared? When maybe he's going to be scared? When we could walk away from it not knowing if we caused a major problem or made somebody sick or something. I can't. Do we do it but have all the distancing and masks in place? I mean, I'm more comfortable with that. But again, do we want the pictures to have masks? Do we not want to be able to see each other's faces? I don't know how to do this. So I just thought I would come on and do an extremely honest vlog with you guys today because we tried to put stuff together for this weekend and the stress of all of this made it so we just couldn't talk about the wedding. And that got me to thinking, like, if we can't even plan it right now, what are we going to do? What are we going to do as it gets closer and we say, all right, we're going to get married during COVID. But like if we decide to wait, how long is COVID going to last? There's no expiration date on when this is going to be okay. Like it could be years. So here we are at a crossroads of, do we plan a wedding during COVID or do we wait? And then whichever decision, how long do we wait? Or if we are going to plan a wedding during COVID, what kind of sacrifices do we make in order to make sure that it's a safe event that everyone feels comfortable at, the bride included? And I can't begin to explain. And for some reason, I'm so much more honest with you guys on YouTube than I am with anybody else. Like, unless you watch this, you don't see this honesty. I'm not this honest on Facebook or Instagram ever. I'm very, very confident on those. But for some reason, it's easier to be honest with you guys. I am not okay being in crowds. I don't know how that's going to translate to doing shows. I don't know how that's going to translate to anything. I tried to proctor the PSAT and had a freaking panic attack. So I'm not proctoring the PSAT anymore. It's an issue of trust, and it comes from just being around people who the same day I found out somebody that I really care about got COVID, who is high risk. I found it like in the 10 minutes that I found that out, I get a phone call from somebody else that plays off COVID and says, it's not real. It's going to go away in a couple weeks. I'm sitting here like, what is it? Not real till it hits you at home? Cause it hit me at home. And I'm not saying who it is. It's just somebody I care about. I found out has COVID and that happened this week as well. So we're sitting here like, how are we going to plan our wedding when we're worried? How are we going to plan our wedding when now we're not even sure if we want to go anywhere? Like we had all these holiday plans to travel and now we're thinking we're going to listen to the strictest of recommendations that we're hearing from like the CDC and the organizations around saying don't travel for the holidays, do everything virtual, try to be as safe as you can. We're thinking about that. So do we have a virtual wedding? Does everything go virtual now? Should we create holograms? If my dad was around, he could totally make robots of us. And we could get married through robots. That is such a cool idea. Okay, I'm actually considering that. So if you like the robot marriage idea, put that down below. I wasn't planning on talking about COVID on this channel, but I think today it's important because this is a real piece of planning this wedding. How do we do this? How do we sit here and say, let's gather all of our family and friends into a small enclosed place during COVID? That's so irresponsible, in my opinion. And you can have a differing opinion on that. I'm a bit extreme. I've been told by many people that I am a bit extreme in the precautions that I take and prefer. And all I have to say to that is, for me, better safe than sorry. Because it's not about me getting it. It's about me hurting somebody by getting it. Me accidentally spreading it to somebody that can't handle it. I don't even know if I can handle it. But I have high-risk students. I have high-risk family. I have high-risk friends. And if I'm irresponsible and contract it, and then I give it to them, that's on me. That is 100% on my conscience, and I can't live with it. I can't do that to somebody. So how do I get all of the people that Sean and I love into one place without thinking that we might accidentally set off a proverbial bomb? Like, how? It's a lot. It's a lot to think about, and I'm not considering not having a wedding. I'm not considering not marrying Sean. That is not under consideration. We are getting married. I'd marry him yesterday. And I think I told him that. I think I said, I would marry you yesterday. And he goes, okay, let's go back in time and do it. That's not the issue. It's what's important to us. Is it waiting to have the perfect wedding, making compromises and being able to get married sooner rather than later? Or is the wedding really that important at all? Those are questions that we need to answer with each other, and hopefully he and I can come on here and have this discussion together. He's not ready to have this discussion yet, and I know that. But I do have his, I was going to say permission. It's not permission. He was cool with me coming on here and talking about this with you guys today. If you have any insight, if you have any suggestions, if you can just tell me it's all going to be okay someday, that would be great. Just, keep this what it is and leave politics off this channel. We're trying to make sure that we do that. Again, COVID is not a political issue. It is a health issue. And I will stand by that forever. It's just, I don't know. I'm a little scared and worried, and I just wanted to come on here and be super honest with you guys and tell you that, because honestly, this video is probably only going to get about 22 views, so only 22 of you guys are going to know that I'm scared out of my mind and not sure what to do. So thank you to the 22 of you that are watching this and helping out with this incredibly important question. And if you're getting married this year and you're not asking yourself these questions, you should. Your answer might be different from mine, but you need to ask yourself these questions. Is it safe? Is it okay? Picture yourself putting everyone that you love into a room and imagine that one person might have COVID and spread it to your whole family, and then decide if it's worth it. Decide, maybe not if it's worth it. That's not worth it. I don't think anyone would be like, it's fine if I kill people. Like, nobody would say that. But maybe think about what you want to do to make sure, if somebody in that room has COVID, that it doesn't spread farther than that person. Take whatever precautions that you can to make sure that that couldn't happen when you put every single person that you love into one place. And you don't know if somebody has COVID or not, because somebody, I know somebody that was exposed to COVID, 10 days, no symptoms. We're told, all right, CDC says 10 days, you're good, you're fine. Started showing symptoms on the 12th day and then spread it to people that I care about. So there's no science and math behind the number of days that you have to wait. And so you can't be sure that somebody in that room isn't not okay. Isn't not whatever. So you can't be 100% sure. So if you're having a wedding or some kind of event, ask yourself how you can protect the people in that room. And if you feel at any way that you can't protect them, I wouldn't have that event. It's your life. It is your decision. My struggle is that I wouldn't have that event if it meant risking one person. So yeah, hopefully next time on here, I'll be talking to Sean and to you guys about this. But I thought I would just go ahead and get this out, as I felt these feelings today of relief at not performing and absolute terror at the idea of, what if I feel this on my wedding day? Your wedding day shouldn't feel like that, and a show should not feel like this. So thank you guys so much for letting me just come on here and be honest and real with you. Any insight you can give me would be amazing. Thank you to all 22 of you. I love you very much. But yeah, I'm Duct Tape, and Safety Scissors will return soon. And thanks for watching.